It all happens in the blink of an eye. This is the rule. A dance of life and death written by instinct and intelligence, deciding survival. Who will be the ultimate winner? Welcome to the most fierce arena on the planet. Wild Africa. The baboon's dance of survival. In the middle of the wild Africa, where life always hovers on the boundary between predator and prey, nature appears as an endless arena. This is the land of species that are not afraid to confront snakes, from eagles, mongooses, to intelligent and daring monkeys. In the sweltering heat that stretches across the savanna and sparse forests, the atmosphere is always as tense as a string, ready to explode into life and death encounters. Under the African sky, the golden savanna stretches endlessly. Here, not only are lions and leopards the rulers, but there is also a species of monkey that is not to be underestimated. Baboons. With their sharp fangs up to 5 centimeters long and their aggressive temperament, they are known as the unyielding warriors of the savanna. Today, the whole herd left the familiar cliff to look for food. Their sturdy bodies with gray-brown fur undulated in the grasslands, their tails curled up to form a characteristic arc. In the herd, the adult males always took the lead, their eyes constantly observing, ready to protect the herd from any predators. Unlike usual, instead of lurking for bird eggs or rummaging through animal carcasses, they chose something lighter, juicy red wild fruits. A strong male quickly climbed up a tree branch. The rustling of branches and leaves signaled an easy meal. The whole herd quickly gathered, growling and chirping loudly, signaling that the meal was approaching. But in the midst of that seemingly harmless scene, there was another figure watching. Among the bunches of fruit, a green vine moved slightly. It was not a leaf or a vine. A green bush snake. Slender, long and flexible like a living thread. Its body was covered with emerald scales, its cold yellow eyes gleamed with deadly patience. The snake clearly felt the vibrations transmitted through the wooden branch. It raised its head, its forked tongue continuously sticking out, tasting each scent that dissipated in the wind. Right in front of it was not a small sparrow or a slender lizard, but a giant creature, a baboon. The fruit eater, with its white fangs and rough hands, was strong enough to crush even a prey like it. Tension rose. The snake wanted to attack. The baboon was not helpless. The confrontation began with a dance of nerves and intelligence. In a blink of an eye, the baboon attacked the tree itself. The snake lost its balance, fell down and slithered away in panic. The baboon had won. No need to shed blood. This was intelligence. This was daring. In Africa, survival required not only strength, but also a dance. But survival on this savanna never ended. Winning over the enemy was only half the game. A snack of wild fruits was just a snack. In fact, another dance was even more brutal for them, the instinct to maintain the species. The turbulent mating season had left its mark. As the rains soaked the savanna, the adult males fought relentlessly to assert their dominance. The fights flared up like fistfights, where claws and muscles clashed to determine who would have the right to mate. The female monkey, with her anal area swollen and red, was the signal, the prize for the strongest. And when the drama died down, the winner had the chance to pass on her bloodline. Now the fruits of those struggles were visible. In the troop, there were pregnant females and mothers holding their young. They needed more than fruit, a rich source of protein to produce precious milk and ensure future generations were strong enough to face the harsh savanna. The real hunger of the herd prompted the alpha male to make a risky decision, leading the herd towards the riverbank. The air here was more humid and heavy. The riverbank was the boundary of abundant life, but also the territory of the most dangerous predators, where giant crocodiles were hiding under the murky water, patiently waiting. The herd moved in silence, each step cautious. Suddenly, the sensitive sense of smell caught a strange scent, carrying the warmth of buried life. It approached a mound of sand that looked newly piled up, not far from the water's edge. And then, under the damp sand, a treasure was revealed. Not gold or silver, but something even more precious, oval eggs with soft leather shells. A nest of crocodile eggs. It was a life or death gamble. A monkey slowly approached and took the egg. It did not know that danger was right there. The air around seemed to freeze, only the sound of the wind whistling through the leaves and the still water. Suddenly, the mother crocodile rushed forward. In an instant, the baboon ran away. They knew clearly that there was no chance to directly confront the wrath of the king of the swamp. Facing jaws that could crush bones in the blink of an eye, the smartest thing was not to fight. The mother crocodile's golden eyes still silently watched, reminding her that this water belonged to her. The Nile crocodile is one of the most fearsome killers in Africa. Its body is more than 5 meters long, its skin is as thick as armor covered with rough scales, its eyes always floating above the water like 2 observation antennas. They do not need to chase, just lie still, blending in with the mud, waiting for the moment to strike a fatal blow. For them, the breeding season is a fierce moment no less than a hunt. The female digs a nest in the sand, hiding her eggs in the moist soil and dry grass. Each nest can contain from 40 to more than 60 eggs. For months, the mother crocodile patiently guards, ready to pounce on anyone who comes near. And when the moment comes, tiny cries ring out from under the sand. The mother crocodile gently digs with her snout, then carries each baby into the water. The jaws now become a gentle cradle, cherishing each tiny life. However, their lives have just begun. The river water is a territory filled with fish, birds of prey, and even their own kind. The mother's protection will determine how many of them can grow up to continue the power of the swamp's rulers. Under the murky water, the crocodile's silhouette floats silently, like a lifeless log. But it is not resting. Its cold yellow eyes are still wide open, locked on a new target. In the middle of a hot afternoon, the heat rising from the ground made the air tremble. The antelopes, the herbivores with slender bodies and long, agile legs, were gathering at the riverbank. They lived in large herds, moving all day long to find young grass, green leaves, and above all, water. This season, drought prevailed, forcing all creatures to gamble their lives at the water's edge. A place that both gave life and hid death. The antelopes were alert, their ears constantly twitching to listen. But thirst made their steps reckless. Their hooves gently stomped on the wet mud, their lips touched the water, and that was the moment the predator was waiting for. The crocodile knew that the opportunity would only come in a moment. It approached, each movement slow so as not to cause ripples. Just a small noise was enough to make the prey disappear. Time seemed to freeze. Then suddenly, an explosion from the water's surface. The antelope had not yet cried out before it disappeared into the violent whirlpool. A life ended in silence. The baboons nearby had just witnessed the whole thing. That was the fate that awaited any member who was a second too late. That moment confirmed a cruel truth. The baboons had lost the gamble, but they were still alive. As for the less fortunate, the riverbank did not give them a second chance. But the wild world did not stop there. Thousands of kilometers away, in another South American jungle, another chapter was unfolding, with completely different tactics. In the dense canopy of the rainforest, the capuchin monkeys are busy in their own world. Their bodies are only the size of a newborn baby. Their fur is soft and smooth. Their faces are bright with big black eyes that are always alert and curious. Their long, hooked tails are always ready to help them balance on the precarious branches. They are one of the most intelligent primates, and that intelligence is evident in all their daily activities. From using rocks to smash stubborn palm fruits, to smashing a clam against a tree trunk to get its meat. This is not a random act, but a skill passed down from generation to generation. It demonstrates their incredible problem-solving and tool-using abilities. They never live alone. A group can number up to several dozen individuals, from experienced leaders to curious, active youngsters. The group provides security. They eat everything: fruits, seeds, insects, bird eggs, and even small prey like lizards, baby birds, or mice. The group of capuchin monkeys were playing, swinging from branch to branch, their cries echoing throughout the treetops, like the chaotic music of the green forest. However, right below, another figure was quietly moving. A giant boa constrictor, the silent predator of the jungle. Today, its prey was a capuchin monkey. Capuchin monkeys are inherently intelligent and extremely alert. When one detects danger, the whole group will immediately signal. That is a defensive tactic, using numbers to intimidate predators. The python stopped. Its eyes were cold, its muscles curled up as if it was about to pounce. Immediately, the whole group of monkeys screamed loudly. All combined into a storm of sound, pressuring the psychology, making the predator falter. The giant snake twisted its body, then quietly retreated into the darkness. Are the monkeys really so terrifying that they can defeat this notorious predator? And what if the hunter returns again? In the wild, monkeys and snakes are always unexpected opponents. Baboons, with their fangs, strength, and intelligence, do not easily become prey. As for the snake, with its patience and deadly prey-snatching instinct, it is always a lurking shadow in every treetop, every corner of the forest. They are different, but they share the same rule: whoever is more patient, vigilant, and daring will survive. Perhaps monkeys have never been truly afraid of snakes. But snakes have never stopped testing the monkey's vigilance. It is a dance of survival, where both are enemies and life and death tests for each other. Are the savanna's fierce warrior baboons and the jungle's cunning capuchins really a match for the snakes? The answer remains to be seen in some future battle. If you want to discover more breathtaking encounters between monkeys and the planet's most fearsome predators, subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss the next fierce survival journey. In the middle of of the dry savanna, a pack of hyenas approaches a lioness, tearing an antelope apart in the grass. Without growling or hesitating, they prepare to pounce on their prey. But can a large group overcome such a lone force? In the heart of harsh Africa, nature appears like a symphony that is both majestic and cruel. In the distance, herds of antelopes move silently, their instincts urging them to find new grass before it dries out. In that fierce natural picture, there are young hyenas born and raised in the protective arms of the pack, where each individual, no matter how small, is nurtured by discipline, instinct, and the protection of the community. They learn to hunt, hide, and coordinate before they even leave their dens. After harsh dry seasons, these individuals mature and join their pack. No need for a leader to roar. They understood each other through battles, facing hunger and thirst together. The hyena pack grew stronger and stronger. They not only survived, they began to conquer the territory. The carcasses of buffalo, antelope, even young elephants were no longer out of reach. From the darkness of contempt, they rose to become a formidable force. One hot afternoon, the scent of fresh blood spread in the wind. An antelope had just been taken down by a pack of wild dogs. The hyena pack smelled it first and quickly closed in. On the open ground, the wild dogs were tearing apart their prey in chaos. They were numerous, fast and ferocious, famous for their superb coordination and endurance in long chases. But the hyena pack did not retreat. A first charge, a roar. And when the ground quieted, the wild dogs had retreated into the distant grass, leaving behind not only the antelope carcass, but also control of that land. Hyenas are not the strongest in the predatory chain, but they are the most resilient. Their strength does not come from sharp claws or superior speed, but from organization, perseverance, and a terrifyingly sharp collective intelligence. They can communicate with dozens of different sounds, from high-pitched laughter to deep howls, transmitting signals over kilometers. They remember the terrain, mark their territory, coordinate hunting, and know how to wait. Every step is calculated. It is that bond. The spirit of symbiosis, clear division of roles, and leaving no one behind that turns the once outcasts into a unified block capable of confronting even the top predators. In a world where life and death are always fighting for every breath, hyenas survive, not because they are invincible, but because they never let themselves be separated. And in nature, that is the most powerful weapon. As the pack of hyenas fell asleep amidst the dry grass, full and peaceful for the first time after many weeks of migration, the African land was not completely quiet. They lay close together, their steady breathing blending with the rustling wind, a peaceful picture built by instinct, coordination, and family affection. Somewhere in this ecosystem, another creature was also fighting in its own way, not glorious, not noisy, but full of perseverance. That was the honey badger, a small animal, but so brave, that even lions were wary. That was the honey badger, a small animal but known as invincible in the wild. With a short body, thick fur, and jaws as hard as steel, the honey badger was not afraid of lions, leopards, or even cobras. What made it stand out was not its strength, but its bravery and its survival strategy, not knowing how to retreat. Like the hyena, the honey badger
is a master of adaptation.
It will not choose direct confrontation unless necessary, but when forced to fight, it will do so to the end. With its thick hide and superior pain tolerance, the honey badger
leisurely destroys its nest, enduring hundreds of stings in exchange for sweet nectar and protein-rich larvae,
a worthy reward for its courage. The dry season is gradually ending. In the western sky, heavy gray clouds begin to gather, signaling the return of the first rains. The wind changes direction, the smell of damp earth rises from the dry cracks in the ground. The first lightning flashes in the distance, then thunder echoes across the plains like a mysterious departure signal, understood only by the wild. Nature is changing, and the entire ecosystem begins to move. Herds of antelope, buffalo, and zebra, thousands of individuals, quietly leave their old lands, where only dry roots and red dust remain. They follow each other in a lively river, pouring into the northern steppes, where the new grass has just sprouted after the rain. In the drizzle that covers the ground, the whole pack of hyenas also begins their migration. Without discussion, without argument, they read the signal from the sky, from the pounding footsteps of the prey, from the wind carrying the scent of new life. The leading individuals are mature, their bodies are solid, their fur is mottled with dark spots according to their age. Without hunting every day, they follow the prey, waiting for the weak or injured. Nature always favors the patient. In the rainy season, the season of rebirth, the opportunity to grow is born with each new blade of grass sprouting. The sky cracks open, the rain pours down, and on the changing steppe, the pack of hyenas is no longer a silent shadow but a clear part of the great dance of nature. The rain continues for many days, softening the soil, greening the grasslands, and pushing back the dry breath of the dry season. Amidst the rustling bushes, they found a high, sheltered area, the ideal place to take shelter and start a new chapter. Here, a female in the pride gave birth to her first litter. No longer a wanderer, she was now a mother. A role no one had taught her, but instinct had long prepared her for. The young hyenas grew up day by day, their eyes opening, taking unsteady steps, curiously crawling out of the cave when the sun began to rise. As the pride rested, a heavy sound of footsteps echoed. Not the sound of rain or antelope. A lone male lion was approaching the shelter. His mane was covered in red mud, his eyes were dark yellow. And immediately, the hyenas recognized the threat. A female hissed in warning. The cubs retreated into the cave. But a young cub, still playful, was slow. The male lion charged. The hyenas roared in protest, but it was too late. The pack stood still, not screaming, not rushing to fight. just surrounding the newly opened space between the grass and the fresh blood that had not yet soaked the ground. A part of them had just disappeared. Not for the first time, but this time it was the youngest. After that, life continued. In the wild, grief is just a momentary pause in life that waits for no one. The pack needed food, and the remaining young needed stronger individuals than ever. A few days later, when the sun was still low, a lone hyena from the pack crossed the dry land where thorn bushes and boulders dotted the territory of the black-backed jackal. The cunning animals, often traveling in pairs, were extremely wary, difficult to approach without a clear strategy. They knew how to coordinate to protect their territory, even against larger ones. The dark gray fur along their backs helped them to hide easily, turning themselves into visual traps among the grass and rocks. Not strong in muscle, but notorious for their quick wits and escapes. A puppy was distracted in the bushes, playing around, a leap. The big one rushed out to block the way but was too late. The bite was quick and clean. Dust rose up and then settled down in silence. The hyena quickly took the spoils and retreated as quickly as it had appeared, leaving behind the motionless silhouettes of the jackals, a loss in the series of survival challenges that they had long been accustomed to. Since the rainy season, more abundant food sources have meant more fierce clashes. The encounters between hyenas and lionesses have become more frequent. It is no longer a battle for leftovers, but a battle of wits and endurance around the carcasses of antelopes, buffalo, or any recently killed spoils. The female lions are no strangers to the old lion who had inflicted losses on the hyenas many years ago. They are numerous, strong, and coordinate well. And each confrontation is a gamble of life and death. Once, the whole pride discovered a fresh prey carcass. But the lions were there waiting like landowners. They did not attack, just roared and advanced step by step, pushing the formation back. The young hyenas growled, but the pride held each other back. It was not the time to trade. A few days later, the figure of an old male lion appeared at the edge of the shelter. No longer majestic, just a wandering wanderer. It was the one who had killed the young hyenas in the pride years ago. The wind brought a strange smell before it. The guard hyenas howled in alarm. The whole pack spread out. The female leader had already charged straight, attacking like a knife. But another roar sounded as another male lion charged. No one died, no one won, but it had scared the hell out of that lion. This was also the first time the former king had to run away and rely on someone else to escape. The pack returned to their shelter, covered in mud and scratches. But not a single spirit broken. The cubs licked each other's wounds without groaning or complaining. And that silence was the most powerful lesson. Survival does not need to roar, just not collapse. When night fell on the grassland, the sunset was only a faint ember at the end of the sky. The hyenas huddled. Their breaths mixed with the wind. No more roars, no more majestic images. Only the lonely resilience in the dark night. Through the battles of stealing prey, clashes with lions, and even bitter losses, they have learned how to survive, not to be the strongest, but to be the one who refuses to fall. There are no medals, no halo. Only the courage and the will to stand up every time you fall. And if you ask, are you brave enough, when the whole savannah turns its back, to not choose to give up? The answer lies in the way you look at the image of the hyenas tonight, living not for anyone's honor, but only because of the instinct to move forward.